Welcome to ZWATSHITANGANI, a YouTube channel that seeks to document everything there is to know about Vhavenda people. My name is Khumbudzo Muzirwana wa Lidobo Maungadzindebe. Maungadzindebe wa Rachibvumo wa Ramkanda wa Lidobo. Lidobo yone ndo ya chiavacha maro wa ndira. Chinofichoro wa na mupiri wa gondo. Wasara hova po matanda. Vachamba vedzura ni zvanhu ramaro wa hamsina ndebe mutumbu wasara wudzura. Namana inobva chiwisa. Chiwisa chinofichowisa pandu na muroi. This YouTube channel is actually called ZWATSHITANGANI, and you may be wondering, what does ZWATSHITANGANI means? Let us break it down. Zwa. Zwa is actually a Chivenda word that actually means the things of. Chitanga in Chivenda is actually the traditional round mud kitchen with the grass roof. In modern day, people use any form of building that is used to cook and everything, and they will refer to that as Chitangani. In the royal house, this type of a traditional round mud kitchen will actually called chamudade. And then Ni actually means inside. So ZWATSHITANGANI will essentially means the things that happens in the traditional round mud kitchen. And you may be wondering, why did you choose this name? Okay, so I was raised for the most part of my teenage years by my grandmother, and my grandmother had a traditional round mud kitchen. And in this traditional round mud kitchen, that is where I got to learn a lot of things about being a Vhavenda. My grandmother is not very old, but she was raised by her grandmother that when I assume she probably lived around the 1800s. So she has a lot of knowledge about culture, tradition, everything. Food, health, as well as medicine. So this is where my grandmother got to teach me a lot of things. I was fortunate enough to actually meet my great grandmother, and we stayed with her in that traditional round mud kitchen, and this is where we got to learn a lot. So this is something that was my experience as well. So growing up in that time of my teenage years, in winter, usually we will harvest our maize and everything else that we've planted that grows in the same season as maize, and we will spend time in the evenings in that traditional round mud kitchen where we would normally cook our food and do everything else. But in that round mud kitchen, we would do what is called ukubura mabele with my grandmother and my great grandmother. Ukubura mabele is basically removing the grain of corn from the cob, right? And when we are sitting there while we are doing that, my great grandmother and my grandmother will be telling us stories about them growing up and things like that. They will even be telling us stories like storytelling, like your proper ngano, sarungano. We will talk about this one day. And they will be telling us those stories, and we got to learn a lot. So this is why I actually chose this name, because this was one place where I learned a lot of things about us as Vhavenda people. So a lot of people will actually have different experiences when it comes to these traditional round mud kitchens. But in most households, in this traditional round mud kitchen, you will find that that's where we make our fire to cook our food. That's where we process our food. That's where we preserve our food. I remember having mukoki. Mukoki is your biltong, dried beef or some form of an animal meat that will be dried and be hanged in that traditional round mud kitchen. I remember my grandmother had chickens and goats that would stay inside the traditional round mud kitchen. So they would be staying with us. I remember sometimes my great grandmother sleeping in that traditional round mud kitchen because she was old and she couldn't walk. And a lot of things happened in that kitchen, so she didn't want to go anywhere else. So that is ZWATSHITANGANI. The channel will be giving you all the information about Vhavenda people. We will look at our history, we will look at our culture, we will look at our traditions, we will look at food, we will look at our health, we will look at our medicine, we will look at what have we done as Vhavenda people, where are we today as Vhavenda people, and everything else around the Vhavenda people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, ZWATSHITANGANI. Please subscribe, like, comment. Thank you.